À-bas-le-ciel.
Obviously, I should film more videos at this angle, because this makes my shoulders look enormous. Not that I'm saying my shoulders are not enormous. Interesting. What does Unnatural Vegan want you to give her money for? What is the purpose of the donations that she's requesting? On the front page of her Patreon, it reads, if she receives $1,500 per month, if she receives this amount of money, quote, I can now focus on making much longer documentary-style videos. I find all of the current pro-vegan documentaries lacking to varying degrees, and I would love to provide an alternative, one that is of higher quality than my current videos, but still low budget enough to provide for free on YouTube. This would cost a lot more money, stock footage, etc. Oh yeah, it's in 2018. The cost of stock footage is what's holding her back here, as well as a lot more time, interviews, etc. But I think it would be well worth it. Okay.
You don't have to be part of the vegan community to be vegan. I'm vegan. I have a vegan channel.
Like every single day, I get to wake up and chase my dreams and follow my passions. And that's all been made possible
because I lied to you.
I don't consider myself part of the vegan community, either online or like in person locally where I live.
Shift blame whatever you could do, okay? Never take responsibility. If you take responsibility, then that's admitting that you're wrong. And doing that, that's just impossible.
In my personal everyday life, vegan just plays a small role, honestly. Like,
never admit that you were wrong. Rule number 1, actually. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, shift blame. Rule number 3, play the victim. You want to make sure that people know that this has been a great inconvenience to you.
My family and I, we don't seek out other vegans to associate with. We don't go to vegan meetups. We don't go to vegan festivals or anything like that. We eat a vegan diet. We don't wear fur, leather, etc. That's pretty much it.
Veganism is to some extent about ecology. Veganism is to some extent about ethics. Veganism is to some extent about saving the world and saving the animals. It's to some extent about human health. And it is, to some extent, about money. It is very, very strange to me that someone like Unnatural Vegan is in a position of leadership and a position of influence, not just because I find her philosophy and her political claims absurd, frankly even offensive. I'm a very hard person to offend. I really am offended by a lot of her content. I'm really offended when she makes the case for why it's perfectly acceptable for vegans to raise sheep in captivity and then process their hair into wool and make sweaters out of it, when she argues that it's okay for vegans to keep cows in their backyards and milk them and drink the milk. She makes these kinds of arguments for chicken eggs and so on. She makes arguments in favor of eating animal products and even eating animals, even eating meat, in circumstances where, based on her ridiculous self-styled utilitarian philosophy, it isn't directly causing the animals harm. I actually am offended. But it's problematic for me above all else because all of it comes from the perspective of someone who she says of herself again and again, she's not part of a vegan community. She doesn't want to be part of a vegan community. And the manifesto for this channel says, oh, my view is 180 degrees the opposite. If you guys haven't seen that video, it's short. But I say, oh, it's interesting. This is Unnatural Vegan's position. My position is the diametric opposite of everything she says and believes in these videos. And I feel that again now. Now, point 1, these are the order in which she makes the point. Her first point is she's not part of the vegan community. She doesn't want to be part of the vegan community. She said that before, and I've responded to that before. And then point 2 is she doesn't really go to any vegan meetups. She doesn't go to any vegan events. She's not interested in meeting or talking to or cooperating with vegan people. You know, this is not just because she's asocial or antisocial. This is really a code word for saying that she's not in any way part of veganism as a political movement. She's not getting organized to make a difference through any method other than a boycott. She says of herself, this is how she concludes this little portion of her video herself, the only thing she does that's vegan is refusing to buy meat, refusing to buy leather, refusing to wear fur, that sort of thing. That's all it is for her. All right? And again, my position here is 180 degrees opposite. It's never going to be enough for veganism to just and merely be an economic boycott. We need to get organized. We need to form at least some elements of a community. We need to go to meetups and socialize and meet each other and shake hands and have conferences and picnics and hobnob and make friends and boyfriends and girlfriends and fall in love and break up and all that stuff. All that stuff that goes on within every real community. I'm sorry, it's not unique to veganism. It goes on within every real political movement too. You think people don't fall in love at Republican Party conferences? Sure, it happens all the time. Fall in and fall out of love. We need all that going on precisely to provide a platform for real-world vegan activism. There's a term that's kicked around in political science a lot called social capital. It's flawed, like pretty much every popular idea in political science. But the question is this. What if you wanted to build a bridge? I don't mean a hypothetical, I don't mean a allegorical bridge. There's a river and people need to get over that bridge. They need to get from one side to the other. Would you have what it takes to get organized and lobby government to build that bridge? In many societies, the answer is no. In some societies, the answer is yes. Would you have what it takes to get organized and go around within your community and talk to wealthy people, talk to corporations that are there, and get them to donate the money? Maybe say, hey, look, if everybody puts a little bit of money in the hat, we can build this bridge without the government getting involved. The type of trust and communication and organization and planning that goes on in putting together that kind of project, whether it's lobbying the government or whether it's completely civil society getting organized, this involves social capital. Okay? And it's social capital, community formation, creating the basis for a movement, and then really having the passion and desire to get out there and save the planet, do something for the sake of ecology, ethics, so on and so forth. That's what we need. That's what we need to hear from leaders in the vegan community. And that is what's utterly lacking on Unnatural Vegan's channel.
À-bas-le-ciel.